Story 1. AITA for refusing to split half of the check for dinner with my best friend like we usually do. My best friend, Vanessa 24F and I 25F have been friends since the second grade. We've been supportive of each other's successes and accomplishments, and we're always there when one of us needed the other. We've also always split the check when we go out for dinner or brunch or anything like that. We've agreed to do that for a long time, plus it saves time and doesn't complicate things for us and the servers, and it didn't matter how much one of us ordered. She was the one who suggested it and I was like, okay, sure. I'm not really a big eater, so whenever we would go out, I would only order about 15 to 35% of the entire price for both. Vanessa, on the other hand, always has a huge appetite and would order 65 to 85%. The percentages depend on the occasion, appetites, and the price of the food. Recently, Vanessa got a huge promotion at her job for which she has been working her ass off and she wanted to celebrate, so she suggested that we go out to this fine dining restaurant nearby and I agreed because she deserved it. But before I continue, I should add that a few weeks prior, my older sister Bianca told me how ridiculous it was that I was splitting the check by paying half of it when I would only order food that amounted to only a quarter of the check. So before Vanessa and I ordered our food, I told her that I want to only pay for the food that I will order. She said, okay. When she saw that I was actually paying for my own food, she was like, wait, you were being serious before? Yes, I was being serious, and she said, oh, I wouldn't have ordered so much if I knew you were being serious. The total bill was around $560, and I only ordered around $145 worth of food. I asked her why wouldn't she think I was being serious, and she said that it's because we've been splitting the check in half for so long that she literally thought that I was joking. I told her that I'm just sick and tired of paying half when I only order a small percentage. Like, I'm paying at least $50 to $100 more than I should every time. So she became a bit mad and said, and you just decided to be a bitch and pulled a stunt on the day when I got promoted? Fine then, I will pay for my food, and she did and just exited right after without even waiting for me, which was not cool because she had picked me up at my place and drove us here, so I had to call an Uber and pay $36 for the ride home. This morning, my phone is full of messages from my other friends saying that I was an asshole for demanding this on the day of her big promotion and for being a cheapskate. I just don't want to overpay so much. It's fine if it's $10 to $20 more than what I ordered, but over $50? That amount can go towards necessities and bills. So, AITA? Edit, I earn about $90K/year, minus or plus, because I have several jobs, which includes dog training for which I charge $80 to $100 per hour. Vanessa earned a little bit more with one stable job, and since her promotion, she now earns 6 figures. As always, W earns 6 figures. Guys, before we get into the update, subscribe now for daily Reddit stories. Now to the update. Firstly, thank you for all the advice and understanding from my first post, which can be found on my profile. But to quickly recap, Vanessa, my best friend, and I have agreed to always split the check in half no matter how much we ordered. She recently got promoted and took us to a trending spot to which I've never gone to before. The check ended up being a total $560, out of which I had only ordered around $145. This has always been the ratio in almost every dinner, brunch, or lunch, because she not only has a bigger appetite, she will also sometimes order the more expensive items while I have a smaller appetite. Before we ordered, I had told her that I will be paying for my own food only, to which she had said okay. But after we had eaten and she saw that I actually was paying for my food only, she said she thought I was joking about paying for my own food only, and said she wouldn't have ordered so much if she knew I was being serious. Ended up with her saying fine then, I'll pay for my own food, and then she left without me. I felt like I was an asshole for doing that. On her promotion day, instead of having a conversation about it some time before, But honestly, I never had a chance to bring it up, and after my sister had mentioned that I shouldn't be paying half when our orders were so unbalanced, I couldn't continue to do it anymore. Anyway, Vanessa has apologized for being mad and abandoning me at the restaurant because of the fight that we had, knowing that she had picked me up since my car was being fixed and I had to Uber home. I told her that since she had the promotion, she had to treat me to dinner and pay for the both of us like other friends do, to which she agreed and said that in order to make up for it she will take me out to dinner and pay for the entire meal. Which she did last night, and she stayed true to her word and even told me that I can order whatever I want no matter the price. We also had a long conversation about future dinners and stuff, and we agreed to pay for our own food and get separate checks unless either one of us wants to pay for the entire dinner in the case of a promotion, celebration, or etc. I also want to address the male comments claiming that she's fat and we eat too much as women. First, we're both very fit and strong. I'm 5 feet 7 inches and she's 5 feet 9 inches. Second, the $560 was because it was an expensive place, so if you think we ate too much, then you've never taken a girl out to a fine dining restaurant. Anyway, the conclusion is, we resolved the problem and I greatly appreciate all the good advice and comments. Now let's read some comments. A Reddit. NTA, oh, I wouldn't have ordered so much if I knew you were being serious. Everything up to that point could have been an innocent mistake, but that comment shows she's been taking advantage of you. Just turtle soup. My favorite part is the logic of how dare you make me pay for my own food on the day I've been promoted to earning more money. Story 2. Oh, it's not that hard to give a survey. Okay, kind sir, then show me how it's done. On mobile, so forgive for some of the formatting. However, I read a story that reminded me of a job that I had almost 10 years ago. I used to be the guardian or conservative representative of 20 adults with developmental and intellectual disabilities. The highest IQ that I had in the group was about 65. Most of my clients were nonverbal, and if they could speak, it was very rudimentary language. My main job was to ensure my clients' safety, ensuring they were getting the appropriate services, and that they weren't being abused. Then came a message that stated that some government bureaucrat decided that we needed to term men whether or not clients were feeling as though they were getting the appropriate services they need. Mind you, my clients couldn't speak, and if they did, it was like talking to a toddler. I had received the survey. I didn't understand half of the questions in the survey, so this bureaucrat held a presentation stating why this thing was important and how it would be beneficial. I said there is no way that any of my clients can do this, and his response, oh, it's not that hard, just try to explain the questions to them. Hugh malicious compliance. Hey guys, what do you think will happen to the bureaucrat? If you like this video, let me know by subscribing and liking. It will help my channel a lot. Going back. I warned my boss via text message what I was about to do. I told the bureaucrat, okay, if it is that easy, please come to my client's home and show me how easy it will be to do this survey. At this point, everybody attending this meeting started snickering because they knew exactly what I was about to do and they knew my personality. So the bureaucrat agreed to meet up with me 3 days later at my client's house or group home, whichever you want to call it. Mind you, the client's house that I met up with this bureaucrat is completely nonverbal, had a feeding tube, was in a wheelchair, and wore diapers. The only sounds from this client were vocalizations that were more of that of a newborn infant, but after many years you start to understand what this client wanted. I had prepared her care staff, and the care staff actually prepared popcorn because they knew exactly how this would turn out. So we waited and the bureaucrat showed up. And the bureaucrat asked me where the client was? I indicated this lovely client here in the wheelchair, who is currently drooling on their bib, is who will be taking the survey. The look on the bureaucrat's face was an indicator of, oh, I fucked up. I sat down in a chair along with the care staff and we started eating popcorn, watching this man trying to figure out how to communicate with a drooling individual. After about 15 to 20 minutes he turned and faced me and said, this is not working. And I looked at him and said, did you not say it would be so easy to do this and I should not have any issues? So please, I am waiting for your demonstration to show me how easy it is to complete the survey." His defeat was very evident and he kindly excused himself, and about a week later all the surveys were taken away because majority of the clients that we worked with would have never been able to complete the survey, and they realized that this was a dumb idea and a waste of government funds. But it was so worth seeing the defeat in this guy's face. Story 3. AITA for not allowing my MIL to use my ensuite while I was a new mom. So this happened 18 months ago, but my in-laws are still criticizing me for it and have even used this as an example of when I have misbehaved in an effort to influence the opinion of my husband this week. Last year I, 33F, has a 3-month-old baby and was in the depths of PPD. I hadn't met my in-laws that much because they live in another country, but they wanted to come and see the baby, which I was more than happy to accommodate. I prepared the spare bedroom for them, bought lots of food for their arrival, and cooked all of their meals during their stay, which was exhausting while juggling a new baby and really struggling with breastfeeding, but I was happy to do it for my in-laws. My ownership of the house predates my relationship with my husband and is a large 6-bedroom house with 4 bathrooms. We have one, we keep one for guests, and the other 4 are rented out to lodgers. All lodgers were carefully selected and are like part of our family. They were very kind to my in-laws during their stay. Now the issue: my MIL, 61, didn't want to share a bathroom with my lodgers and wanted to use my ensuite, which would involve walking through my bedroom and my dressing room. For health reasons she likes to lay down after a shower and didn't want to use any of the other 3 bathrooms because it would either involve walking through the house in a dressing gown or the pajamas that she'd slept in, or having to get dressed and undressed again. The spare bedroom is on the top floor next to the master, so this would have been somewhat negated by using the ensuite. Normally, I am not precious about these things, but pretty much all the time I was in my room I had my boobs out desperately trying to feed my son. I was still leaking lots, so the entire room smelled of off milk, and there was often washing all over the place from where I was struggling to keep up with things. I really didn't like the idea of this space being intruded upon and politely declined, saying she was very welcome to use any one of the other bathrooms. Initially, she burst into tears about this, and I was made to feel really bad for saying no, but knowing it would make me unable to cope with the visit, I stuck to my guns. At the end of the April 5th day visit, I was getting ready to drive them to the airport for their flight home, and my MIL pointed out how uncomfortable she was staying in my home and that it was an uncomfortable place for her to be. This really hurt me because not only did I expend lots of energy on hosting, but also, I've spent a lot of time and money renovating my home to a high standard over the last 5 years, and I'm very proud of it. The fact that my in-laws are still adamant I was an AH for this make me wonder whether it might be the case, so I thought I'd throw it out there. Edit: a lot of people have asked about where my husband was. He did help me with cleaning and preparing the house. Generally my husband is very helpful with childcare and the house. However, he's been very hesitant to stand up for me with his family, so while he tried to explain to MIL why it was important to me to have my privacy and tried to de-escalate things, he never set a boundary that it wasn't appropriate for them to act as they did, and also wouldn't acknowledge this to me. Edit 2. MIL was aware we had lodgers before her stay. She had previously stayed and used one of the bathrooms offered to her on this stay without issue because we hadn't yet had our insip built on her first visit before I had my baby. Anyway, the conclusion is, we resolved the problem and I greatly appreciate all the good advice and comments. Subscribe for daily Reddit stories. What's up everyone? If you like this video, hit the subscribe button now. What's up everyone? If you like this video, hit the follow button now.